There will be a new moon in Leo on August 17th, 2012 at 8:55 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time or 3:55 a.m. Universal Time. Now that the full moon in Aquarius has danced with the shocking squares of Uranus, Leo will create and recreate, starting with the quantum world around us and beneath our feet. Feel the winds of change fanning the flames of creativity that are spreading out throughout the infinite cosmos that is the multiverse. The new moon is the time to reset our cosmic emotional clock. Time to assess how well our outcomes align with our intentions, goals, vision, and life's purpose. This is an excellent time to forgive others and ourselves for unfortunate moments so that we can free ourselves from the weight of the chains of negativity and move forward. Leo is the vector equilibrium of the Tetrahedron fire sign continuum. As the heir of fire fixed quality, Leos have all of the strength of youth balanced with the sage wisdom of the elders. Leos are typically seen as the mother or father of the fire signs. They are the original cosmic taskmasters. Each astrology sign is associated with a planet that best describes the archetype characteristics of each of the 12 signs of the zodiac. The two exceptions are Cancer and Leo. Cancer is ruled by the moon and Leo is ruled by the sun. Therefore, the sun and the moon are referred to as planets for the convenience of explanation. However, for the sake of clarity, astrologers refer to the sun and the moon as luminaries. Leo is related to the number 8 card of the tarot and represents both lust and strength. Leo is ruled by the sun and occupies the 5th house in the 12 divisions of the zodiac ecliptic. In some schools of esoteric philosophy, Leo is associated with the ring finger due to its connections to the heart. The ring finger is also called the sun finger in chirology, the art of reading the palms of the hands. This is one of the many correlations that Leo has with the heart among the many schools of thought and metaphysics. In astrophysics, the sun is considered a little smaller than the average star on the main sequence classification of stars. The most widely accepted model of the sun is that it is a huge mass of mostly hydrogen gas. So much gas is present that the clumping of the atoms is happening so fast that the gravity causes the atoms to be crushed at a rate of 600 million tons per second. This process fuses the many single nuclei of the hydrogen atoms together to create helium and other heavier elements. Fire sign physicist Christian Birkeland suggests an alternative model we know today as the plasma theory. The plasma universe theory assumes that electrical and magnetic forces are dominant in space-time instead of gravity. However, the plasma theory has not produced a model of electromagnetism that scientists can agree is capable of forming and shaping galaxies. This leads you to wonder, is the sun plasma electric, or is it a kinetic soup of nuclear fusion complete with the 4 forces? Perhaps there is another option that science is not advanced enough to grasp yet in its relative infancy. The sun, by default, is the solar plexus chakra of the solar system in astrology. It is the last chakra representing self-awareness before reaching the threshold of the spiritual chakras that start with the heart. Leo, through the sun, represents vitality of life force, consciousness, power, creativity, individuality, and self-expression. Cardinal Cancer begins the summer, fixed Leo defines the summer, and mutable Virgo holds the circuit of these two yin-yang forces in equilibrium. While the mutable force of Virgo regulates the circuit of the cardinal and fixed qualities, it proceeds to spiral the cycle forward where cardinal Libra starts the next cycle. Mercury finally came out of retrograde on August 7th at 10:39 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Anybody else feel a sense of relief? Expect there to be a few loose ends to tie up, left over from the Cosmic Magician's visit. For now, you can review the lessons you learned and put away your crash test dummy suit. Just remember that Mercury's orbit around the Sun is only 88 Earth days, and retrograde will be back in just about 3 months. During this new moon in the regal sign of Leo, there are harmonious sextiles between Mars and Saturn in Libra, with Jupiter in Gemini and Uranus in Aries. Expect a higher octave of organization, focus, fellowship, social interactions, and productivity. During this next week, patience and practicality are your friends. The Sun enters Virgo on August 22nd, and Mars enters Scorpio on August 23rd. Normally, Virgo transits the 23rd of August, but keep in mind that this is a leap year. With Mars in Scorpio, we will be in a good place to accomplish a lot. Whenever the god of action, conflict, and war is in the familiar house of Scorpio, you can count on everybody being busy, or at least looking busy. This energy will help you to stay on task, even if there is a day or two of feeling out of focus. The moon enters Leo on August 15th at 11:05 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, but it is not officially new or in conjunction until it is 25 degrees in Leo, along with the Sun on August 17th. Astrology can be seen as the development of humanity as it metaphorically travels through each of the houses of the zodiac ecliptic over 12 lifetimes. At each stage, the spirit masters very specific lessons. Another way of understanding astrolosophy can be through the myth of Hercules and the 12 labors. Each sign can represent one of the hero's labors. Our story starts with another of Zeus's infidelities. Anyone else surprised? One of the many gods and mortals that Zeus seduced was Alcmene. Zeus disguised himself as her husband Amphitryon after he left on a quest for the king. Alcmene named the child Heracles, which means glory to Hera. The homage only served to intensify the anger and contempt Hera felt about Zeus's infidelities. Hera placed a spell on Hercules that drove him temporarily insane. This fit of madness resulted in the death of his wife and his children. As punishment, Hera then assigned Hercules to the labor of King Eurystheus of Nemea. Hercules would perform his 12 labors over the next 12 years. The first of these 12 labors is that of the Nemean lion. The Nemean lion is associated with the constellation and zodiac sign of Leo the lion. As usual, there are various versions of this myth. The most prevalent account is that of Hercules stopping the lion from terrorizing Nemea in order to stop the sacrifice of a young boy. The lion would pretend to be a damsel in distress and ambush any of the heroes that attempted to recover the victims. Leo's strength and will are represented by the Nemean lion's skin and fur, which could not be penetrated by any of the weapons of Hercules. Hercules had to defeat the Nemean lion using the brute force of his bare hands. When the struggle ended, Athena advised Hercules to use the lion's own claw to skin him for his pelt. The claw was the only tool sharp enough to penetrate the skin and fur of the Nemean lion. Apollo, Artemis, Sekhmet, Helios, Ra, Shango, Suna, and Pele are just a few of the gods and goddesses associated with this charismatic royalty of the zodiac we know as Leo the Lion. Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, with the fiery action emissary leading the charge for creativity, and Jupiter and Gemini supplying the optimal octane through the Octahedron, you are a magnetic bullet train racing through the Valley of Change towards the City of Abundance. With the Shockmaster General Uranus relentlessly conducting the Symphony of Awakening while Pluto shakes the maracas of revolution, you have decided to adapt and dance to the rhythm. You no longer need an umbrella to protect you from the unpredictability because you know that there will be no pain when you decide to dance shamelessly in the rain. With the expansive sage wisdom of mutable Sagittarius among the continuum, you know that failure plays an important role on the journey to success. You are learning to liberate yourself from the shackles of anxiety by laughing in the proverbial face of chaos as he rips your world apart. Learning detachment from the ego is giving you the power to replace expected norms with cutting-edge innovation and originality. You do not fear the darkness of uncertainty because the toroidal field of consciousness and intention are acting like your personal high beams upon the crossroads of manifestation and life. Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. Pluto in Capricorn has arrived to assess your life and hold you accountable for every detail of each of your choices. Focus on the fact that this is only an assessment. This is not the actual test. Pluto's fierce evolution through revolution approach may feel like the hammer of Thor is coming down on you due to the fierce square dance with Uranus, Libra, Mars, and Pluto. The harder you labor to keep your world from falling around you means that the longer it will be until you rejoice in the new world that Source is creating for you now. Continue to be practical and pragmatic in your pursuits, but try and recognize that you are the electromagnetic pulse of freedom between the north and south poles of existence. As such, you understand that everything in life is temporary. The only quantifiable conclusion that logic can reinforce is that life itself is constant change and movement. Perhaps it's time to look closely at the Yi Jing and its association to the 64 codons embedded in the DNA of humanity. This is an important lesson that must be emphasized with the Earth continuum that seeks to solve most problems with the mind while ignoring their most important potent gift of clarity, the intuition and the power of the third eye. Now is the time to become comfortable with being uncomfortably far away from your comfort zone. Stay focused and clear about your goals and try to beat your personal best without obsessing over the details. If life gets the best of you, remember that the only thing in life worth controlling is your perspective and your attitude. Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. With Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars in air signs, you can expect a lot of communication, expansion, and action to take place on a harmonious frequency with the fierce flames of change. With 5 alignments of cardinal influence, there is a lot of projects and events initiating and developing. Now is a great time to take advantage of each situation by sharing your constructive, out-of-the-box vision to breathe life and form into all changes that are taking place. You are playing the role of cosmic messenger. Not everyone has your gift of bringing the abstract from the ether into the corporeal world. This is a great time to help others to share what we are capable of as individuals and as a cohesive collective whole. The air element transmits and transmutes communication and interaction on all levels that are above and below consciousness. So don't be mad when not everyone can fly on the same frequency that you tune into with your heart. Just keep going with all projects until they are complete. Then others will begin to understand that which you are sharing. Don't be quick to make big decisions at this time. Wait until your intellect and your heart agree on all answers before you move forward. Take your time and make sure you get in plenty of playtime to accentuate your rest time. With fall approaching next month, expect to be supercharged as Cardinal Libra chimes and gongs on the frequency of love, creativity, and productivity. Until then, be careful not to overcommit yourself to anything until you are fully recharged. Ensure that you get plenty of opportunity to communicate with your favorite faces at your favorite places. Meaningful conversation for you is as important as a great jog for a runner. As the rest of us download the huge amount of energy from the full moon in Aquarius, you are already focused on the universal key to success that you must personally deliver from your trip to the stratosphere. There is no failure, only feedback. Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. Neptune no longer needs to be lonely because Venus has moved into Cancer. Let the moon party begin. Your intuition is ramping up as you observe the world around you and begin to realize that your sixth sense is becoming as reliable as the other five senses. But remember that fools rush in and you have plenty of time to think before you act. With Venus sashaying through Cancer, expect romance in your love life to heat up and push you from focusing on your emotions into the realm of acting on your physical desires. After spending so much time retrograding in Gemini and transiting through the underworld, Venus is ready to party. While there will be some focus on nostalgia and sentiments of the past, you can expect a lot of progress right now if you choose to trust your intuition over your ego. Cancer is the yin ruler of the moon, and while the moon conjoins the sun in Leo, you are ready for some gladiator action of your own. All of your patience and waiting has built to a feverish crescendo, and you are now ready to break free like Triton with Neptune's trident. You are now ready for the earthquakes of change that will summon the tsunamis that promise to cleanse your life of the mundane and the expected. You are a whimsical, magical being who lives it up in your dreams as much as you live it up when you are awake. Be sure to get plenty of art therapy done, as Neptune in Pisces has sparked the renaissance and rebirth of humanity. Everyone will benefit from your inspirational sparks of hope, faith, support, love, and courage. In order to become one with the oceans of emotions and truly ride the waves of love again, you will need to forget the last time that you wiped out. Time to remember an important lesson from Venus retrograde. Have more fear of regret than that of failure, because one can learn a lot more from failure than they can from regret. Using the psychic sonar that is your cosmic echolocation, you will be riding with the dolphins of freedom to your soul's fulfillment. The new moon in Leo is on the day of the Jaguar X with the galactic tone of 8. Harmony and balance are the intent of 8, so be mindful of weighing out all of the positives and negatives as you are resetting your emotional clock. This will be a time of cosmic organization and cosmic order, echoing the saying of as above, so below through the increased waves of gravity and electromagnetism. The Jaguar represents the shaman spirit that symbiotically connects humanity to Earth by way of nature. The blue magnetic storm rewards us with intellect, power, and the feminine spirit that dance like Shakti through all sacred temples, consecrated grounds, and the dragon lines on Earth. The power of this time period is enhanced through awareness and gratitude. This is a time to count the blessings that have been bestowed upon you by the cosmic grandmother. Let's not forget our angel of the East. The dragon soul trains through the new moon to help remind us of the big lessons of paradox emphasized by the opposition of Aquarius and Leo during the last full moon. This is a reminder that the separateness is an artificial mental construct imposed upon us to keep us divided and conquered and trapped in the dimension of duality consciousness. Each time we remember that we are all connected back to the same cosmic tether or creation under unity consciousness, we soul train with the dragon and the jaguar in the cosmic hora that connects us all. The solar eclipse that took place during the transit of Gemini reminds us that it is possible to hold on to conflicting thoughts and ideas until we find the right amount of intuition and logic to successfully harmonize and resolve our need to identify our differences. Lines are everywhere. Nazca lines, ley lines, dragon lines, timelines, and fault lines. Some lines point out the vast possibility of space-time. Some lines indicate that our timelines may be all wrong. Crossing some lines will get you more recognition, power, and possibly happiness, while other lines show the fault in our choices and behaviors. Some lines show faults that can cause the whole world to shake. What about the lines that you cannot see or touch? What about the lines that arbitrarily restrict your movement? Are there some lines that simply should not be crossed? If so, which lines are they? And who decides when and how they are enforced? Do these lines apply to the ruling class or just the masses? Looks like some social and economic lines have been crossed recently, but it appears that the lines are drawn differently in the world of Wall. Do we accept this as destiny, or do we grab the reins of the chariot and demand justice? As the water in our blood holds us to the magnetosphere of the earth, do we passively watch while the world burns, or do we collectively take action in ways that are authentic to our character? Humanity may be slow to answer Uranus's wake-up call, informing us that we are all brothers and sisters. However, pay close attention to the self-appointed big brothers of the world. It appears that we have traveled back to the future and landed in Orwell's 1984. Or perhaps this is simply the brave new world in which we have to decide if it's better to be happy or to be free. Just how much Big Brother continues to run the family without the buy-in or collective consent of humanity may be related to those that are still sleepwalking. Prepare to watch the eagle emerge as the phoenix cools down. Humanity is overdue for a relocation from the world of individual favor towards the planetary mindset of unity consciousness. As the healing sonic energy of Gaia slowly rises within our collective consciousness, our attachment to the past will slowly fade away. Sleep or awake, there is a line of division that runs between that which we are aware of and that which falls outside of our field of awareness. There is a line of procession forming for the graduation ceremony of humanity at the Temple of Gaia. With nearly 7 billion people attending, how will we reinforce the lines of equity without compromising the personal liberties of each individual? Perhaps stepping away from our ego-based conditioning will allow us to recognize that there is no separation between human beings other than our physical bodies and our attitudes. Perhaps this is a time to unite both hemispheres of the brain and balance logic with intuition in order to gain access to more universal truths. As we move away from the more subconscious and irresponsible traits of our patriarchal conditioning, expect to ride the shocking waves of imagination and emotion with the upcoming full blue moon in Pisces. The goddess of justice, Virgo, returns to help us sort out any and all challenges. Estrella will help us to draw our lines of intention with more clarity and fellowship. The new moon in Leo will continue to help us to honor the separation of duality consciousness with a focus on how individuality can contribute to the whole of society by combining our efforts with the efforts of others. Over the next month, it is to your benefit to sit down and visualize a perfect world so that you do your part in helping to manifest a better one. The more often we visualize this world, the stronger our cosmic connection to the rainbow bridge of collective consciousness. Acts of empathy, positive intentions, and consciousness help us to realign ourselves with our planet and the multiverse, opening a portal for growth and healing. Equity, unity, cooperation, and healing are the chimes and gongs of the air element that emphasizes that we are family. This recognition and acceptance of planetary family dismantles the walls of derision and division, collectively bringing us to the threshold of apotheosis and unity consciousness. Learning to walk in sync with your cosmic family advances us one step further into the age of Aquarius.